McFarland, and this is Cross My Heart Ministry. Welcome to Martha Monday. Our regular subscribers know that on Fridays we have a Bible study or a devotional, or we try to get into the Word of God. But on Mondays we feature a video that gives a teaching tip for managing home and hearth. Maybe we demonstrate a recipe, something that just helps you in a very practical way to manage hearth and home well, so that you can be that woman of God who's living out with joy and organization, loving your family well. Well, a tool that I developed a couple of years ago for another blog that I write for is called the Do It List. I'm going to add a link to this below. That blog is no longer publishing, and I've received permission to bring it over to Cross My Heart Ministry. So we are publishing this new tool on the Cross My Heart Ministry site. If you go to crossmyheartministry.com and click on the downloads, you'll see the August version with the Cross My Heart Ministry logo. Now, the way the Do It List works is it's a one-page tool that's very simple to help you keep your home on track and organized. I love it because it's all on one page. So many organizers or planners that help you try to get your home in order have multiple pages, multiple lists, and that just never worked for me. So the ingenious part of this, I think, that makes it effective is that it's all on one page. And it features a daily list, a weekly list, and a monthly list with boxes to check off. So you just read the item and check it off as done when it's done. Under the Do It List, of course, there's going to be, for August, 31 boxes to check. For the weekly list, there are tasks that need to be done weekly, and there are 4 boxes. And then on the monthly list, there's just 1. We change out the monthly items seasonally. Many of them are the same, but then we change them out once in a while because there's some items that just need to be done and completed once a year. I hope that you'll give this a try. The Do It List got its name actually from my granddaughter, Julia Grace. When she was about 3 years old, anytime we would say, Julia Grace, do you want to go for a walk? She would say, let's do it, Kay? And run to the door. Or, Julia Grace, let's play a game. Let's do it, she would respond. And so it just gave us such a chuckle to hear this little 3-year-old say, let's do it, that I thought of that when I thought about the list that I was creating and decided to call it the Do It List. You see, I am not the most organized person in the world. My friends think I am. But when my children were young, I really struggled to keep home and hearth organized. And all too often, I would open a closet or look at my kitchen counter and just feel overwhelmed with what do I do first? And sometimes just throw my hands up and do nothing. So I think what the Do It List is intended to do is take the thinking part out and allow you to engage and just lean in and do it. You need to give up on having everything done at once, but I promise you, if you will just chip away a little bit at a time, giving yourself permission to mess up and not have all the boxes checked, but if you begin to go through this process, just doing these things daily, I think in a matter of just a few days, you're going to start to see your home transformed. And when your home and your space is in order, it brings a tremendous amount of peace and joy. Well, not only do we publish a list that has all of the items on here that I've sort of come up with from my years of managing home and hearth, we add some blank lines so you can add your own items to the list for daily, weekly, and monthly. But we also publish a version that is completely blank. So if you want to create your own list and start over, you can do that as well. I know several moms use the blank list to create chore charts for their children. But what I'm going to do each month as we publish a new Do It List is I'm going to drill down on one of the items on the list and give you some very specific ideas and practical applications for how you can do that. So this month, under the Do It This Month, we have kitchen and pantry shelves. Now that's a once-a-year thing. We have that drop down in August. So I thought, well, it's August, I'm going to go ahead and tackle that. It's a good time before school starts back for many of you who have children, or maybe if you're a teacher, if you're a homeschool mom, but it just seems like a good time to reevaluate and do your pantry shelves and get those kind of in order. So I'm going to share today 10 tips for how I think you can get those pantry shelves tackled and organized. So a few items to consider as we begin this unique chore. Then next month I'll tackle another one, maybe on one of the weekly or the daily list as well. first thing I want to challenge you to do is to allow enough time. This is a big task because you're organizing your entire kitchen or pantry. Now, you might want to parse it down and do one cabinet at a time. But when you're doing the kitchen and you're reevaluating where things go, if you can make it work, I think it's very helpful to just carve out a whole day and make that happen. Most of the items on the do-it list are little bite-sized pieces. You do it in maybe 10 minutes and move on. This big monthly task that's done only once a year is a big task. You may want to break it up and do it a couple of afternoons, but you're going to make a big mess, and that's what you always have to remember. And sometimes we forget when it comes to organizing, whether it's the garage or your closet or your basement or your pantry shelves, sometimes you have to make a bigger mess in order to clean up the mess and get yourself organized. So give yourself a little bit of time, carve out a day that you don't have to rush out to the dentist. Maybe you've got a freezer meal in the freezer, so you're not even gonna have to plan dinner that day, but just budget that time and allocate that time. I wanna challenge you to think outside the box on this, or maybe I should say outside the cabinet. So as you're doing this, you might want to consider some location reassignments. And so things don't always have to live where they have always lived. So by taking everything off the shelves and out of the drawers and putting it out, you can do some reevaluation. Do you keep your glasses and your silverware close to the dishwasher, or are you carrying those across the kitchen? That would be one thing to consider. Also, the items that are on your shelf, the items that are close and handy in your kitchen, they really have to earn that valuable real estate. When I recently did a reevaluation, I realized that these lovely little divided plastic trays, I bought these from a friend's garage sale. They're colorful, they're fun, they're great for kids. When I had children at home, this is a great thing to have when they're carrying lunch back and forth from the counter to the table and you don't want to have your favorite dishes perhaps hit the ground. But now that I'm a grandmother and all my children are adults, I use these only when my grandchildren are visiting. So I don't need these to be close and accessible. They were taking up valuable real estate in my kitchen and handy and accessible. So these are being relocated to the basement. You may find that you have some seasonal dishes or utensils or things that you only use in the summer or in the winter, and you just don't need to keep Christmas dishes ready and accessible, or you don't need to keep canning supplies in your kitchen. Whatever it is, with everything out of the shelves and on the counter, you can do some reevaluation. Is this the best spot for this? Is this item earning its real estate space here in my kitchen? Number 3, gather your cleaning supplies. I love Murphy's oil soap because it's gentle for wood. So after you have everything off the shelves and out of the drawers, you want to give those a good cleaning. They get dusty, they get dirty, dust gets in there, and so using a soft cloth, a damp cloth, wring it out, use something non-harsh like this product, go ahead and wipe those shelves out. And so I recommend doing that immediately after you get everything off the shelves, and that way it has time to air dry and be nice and clean and fresh and ready when you start organizing and putting things back away. So you want to gather your cleaning supplies, make sure you've got whatever you plan to use on hand. Number 4 is to recruit some help. Now, if you are a mom still at home and you have children at home, get their input and advice. It can be part of training them. I think sometimes as moms, we realize that we have to train our children to teach them the Word of God. We teach them to ride a bicycle. We police making sure they practice the piano. We help with their multiplication tables. And in this environment, even if you're not called to home educate, a lot of moms and dads are home educating. But practical life skills are also vitally important, and organizing is part of that. And so bringing them alongside you to help you organize can be very, very helpful. And also, they may have great ideas about where things go and where they end up, and they can help you purge and clean and get things organized. Number 5, tip number 5 is to be ruthless. Be ruthless. You know, when you are cleaning out your closet, every organizer always tells you, if you haven't worn it in a year, throw it out, give it away, get rid of it. And the same thing really does apply in your kitchen. If you haven't used that dish or that utensil or that item in a year, it's time to release it and pass it on to someone else who can use it. So whether it needs to be thrown away if it's broken, if it needs to be given away, sell it on Facebook Marketplace or Amazon Marketplace if it's something that's valuable and you can be a good steward and add some resources back into your family's budget, whatever. But if you're not using it, it's taking up space and you are hoarding it really and keeping it from someone else that might be able to use it. When you're pulling food items off the shelf, this is also a good time to check some of those dates. If the best buy date has passed, then just pitch that item in the trash. You're not gonna use it anyway, and it just needs to be gone. Sometimes you find things lurking and hiding back there on the back shelves that you forgot you had. And so this is a good time to reevaluate those things that may be old or dated. Even your spices, if they're beyond the use by date, they're just not going to be as poignant and not be as effective in bringing that seasoning that you want to some of your favorite recipes. Number 7 is to donate unwanted items. So let's say you bought sauerkraut for a recipe and you tried that recipe, you bought 2 cans of sauerkraut, you made the recipe, it was not a hit with your family. You're never going to make that recipe again. So that lonely can of sauerkraut is sitting there on the shelf, not used, not going anyplace, never to be opened. It still has a good date, it's still usable. Go ahead and make a pile of those items that are still good, that you will not use, and donate those to a local food bank. Many food banks are having unprecedented customers these days. They are having all sorts of clients come in. People are in great need. So this is a great opportunity for you to get organized and also bless someone else who needs the items that you aren't using anyway. Number 8 is to reevaluate your storage. Reevaluate your storage. While you have everything off the shelf, it's a great time to sort of look and see, what am I using to keep things corralled? Those small items that are spices. Do I keep just my flour and sugar in the containers they come in, the packaging they come in? So wood baskets or clear containers or wire racks keep the inside of your cabinets tidy and well organized. And sometimes I am a good copycat. I love to check Pinterest or look at other videos on YouTube for just some pantry organization tips. I find it very inspiring, and as your budget allows, you might want to invest in some different things. I pulled some things off of my shelf to share with you, to share some of the ideas of what I use. I have these OXO containers that I use for my pantry staples. I love these. They are a little bit pricey. You can add them one at a time at Kohl's or Bed Bath & Beyond with a coupon. During Black Friday one year, they had a great sale on these at Sam's Club where we bought them in a whole set. Actually, I put it on my Christmas list and our son and daughter-in-law gave these to me. But they're airtight. There's a little pop top in the middle that pops up. You put it down and you close it. This has eliminated all those bags and different things just shoved on the pantry, and I love opening up my shelves. In fact, I'll take a picture of that and add it to the video later. But I have them for rice, flour, sugar, brown sugar, my sliced almonds. They're easily accessible. I bought these chalkboard stickers at Hobby Lobby and just use a chalk marker to write on here what is on each one. So I have 2 shelves of these on my pantry shelves, and it just keeps things neat and tidy and well organized. I can see how much I have and gauge when I need to restock. So these are very helpful. I love my OXO containers. Now, on my pantry shelves, this one you can see is marked baking. I picked up these durable plastic baskets at Dollar General a couple years ago. They offer a coupon each week if you buy something. I think it's $5 off a $15 purchase or something like that. Maybe $5 off a $25 purchase. So I got those coupons, and each week would just buy a few. I would get up to just barely enough to use the coupon, buy what I needed, go back and buy more. I love using the sturdy plastic ones. I love that they have that basket weave so they sort of look like a basket. But the nice thing about the plastic is you can take everything out, wipe this out, rinse it out, and it's clean again. If you use a wicker basket, they get dusty, it's hard to clean wicker, and it eventually will just kind of fall apart, or if you bang it, maybe it breaks. So I really love using these on my pantry shelves. This one is marked baking. I have that in the pantry. And then here again at Hobby Lobby, I got these little already punched labels, and I just used a Sharpie and labeled what's in there. So I love these types of baskets. I have some that I'm going to use in my master bathroom that I got at a great deal that are wire, but they have a fabric liner. And here again, the fabric liner can be taken out and laundered. I love the look of those, but for my kitchen, I just love these. They get a lot of, they need to be cleaned more frequently, and so that's very helpful. The other thing is that when you are organizing your pantry, you may find that you need to use a Lazy Susan. I incorporated a Lazy Susan when we built the new house, but this is an idea I saw on a couple of different YouTube videos. I can't even remember which one, but I saw this demonstrated and thought it was such a clever idea. So I tried it for myself and it worked great when we were in a smaller house. So you basically buy a couple of just pie pans, cake pans that are small. I think I picked a couple up at Dollar General, or at I think at the dollar store actually. So I paid $1 a piece, got a package of marbles. So the idea is that you just dump the marbles into one pan and you put the other pan on top, and then you've created this little Lazy Susan. So all the spices go on here, and instead of being stuck in the back and you can't find them, you can just turn that around and you've made your own homemade little Lazy Susan. So this was very effective when I had a much smaller kitchen, have a spice rack system now, but maybe that's an idea that you could use as well. So you want to reevaluate your storage, look for ideas, ask friends what they use, get on Pinterest. There's lots of different ways that you can use that. And if there are items you want to invest in, like something expensive like this, just save for that or put that on your birthday list or invest a little bit at a time. I'll also add an Amazon link to these if you just want to go out and get them right away. That will be an affiliate link, and so if you buy those, Cross My Heart Ministry will get a few pennies, and that will bless our ministry as well. The number 9 tip is to use it up. When you're pulling things off the shelf and you find this lonely can or box or package of noodles or whatever, it may be unique to one recipe and you haven't made that recipe in a long time. Well, go ahead and pull that out and use that item up before you hit your due date. So when I was cleaning out my pantry shelves, I found a couple of things I forgot I had. One is this package of dried cranberries. I love to put dried cranberries with some walnuts on my oatmeal. My hubby loves oatmeal. It's his favorite breakfast food ever, and he makes oatmeal way better than me. So when he makes oatmeal, sometimes I like to throw some dried cranberries on there, and it just makes it delicious. Now in the summer, I'll use strawberries or blueberries, but as those start to go away, or if we're out of those, dried cranberries are great. And I want to be sure and use these up before they dry up or before they exceed the expiration date. The other thing I found is a can of chickpeas. My daughter-in-law makes a yummy salad that I have intended to try. She roasts chickpeas and she adds black beans, I think cilantro, some olive oil, some seasoning, dices up a cucumber. I need to call her and get that recipe, but this can of chickpeas reminded me that that's why I bought this can. So I'm gonna be intentional about using up what I already have on my shelf, and they get hidden back there, you forget you got it. So number 9 is to use it up. Number 10 is to review your new layout. So it's just good to open up those shelves, evaluate where things are. Even if you have children still at home, gather them in, let them see where new things are living, and encourage them to help you maintain that. That's the challenge of any organization system. We can get there, it's just very difficult to stay there. My husband and I recently worked very hard with our daughter to help get his garage organized. And so recently, we have been sort of almost making it a joke to say, I'm gonna put it right back where it goes right now. So he gets out that rule to measure something, he gets out the hammer to put up something, and then he says, and watch, I'm putting it back right away, because we've jokingly said that we get there, but we've got to challenge each other to stay there. So the same is true in the kitchen or the closet or anywhere else. We have to break those old habits of just laying it down or throwing it down or thinking we'll do it later, and just follow through all the way and get it put away. It takes just a couple of seconds, and then you've eliminated a huge big cleanup that could come back later. So if everyone knows where they are, where things are, they're more likely to be able to find them, first of all, but then more likely to be able to put them back. And of course, we need to model that to our children. Don't expect it, moms, if you're not modeling it. So as your children see you go all the way through and putting it back, then that will set that great example for them. Well, I hope today has given you a few ideas on tackling your kitchen or your pantry, or just a drawer or two in your kitchen. And if it has, I hope that you'll leave me a note below and let me know which of my 10 tips has been helpful, or or what area you're tackling, or tell me what you did. Did you give something away? Did you throw something away? Did you organize a drawer? We just love to spur one another on and help each other when it comes to this area. If you are on Facebook, you can find the Cross My Heart Ministry Facebook page, and when you see this video shared there, snap a pic of what you did. I'd love to see a photo of your kitchen shelf or your pantry and see what you did to get organized in your home. And again, I just want to remind you that organizing isn't just for the sake of organizing. It's not just to make us feel proud or prideful or say, look at me. We organize so that we can have peace and joy in our homes. There's nothing that robs us of our joy or makes us feel discontent or under the pile more than having our space just be cluttered and in disarray. When my space is organized, it just brings freedom for me. I get up in the morning and I can have my quiet time and peace when there's some semblance of order around me. Now, we're not striving for perfection. Only Jesus was perfect, my friend. But we do strive for excellence. And we do want to be women of God who steward well our time and all the gifts that God has given us, because we know that every good and perfect gift does come down from our Father above. Everything we have is a gift from Him. And so even as we're cleaning and organizing, we can walk out thankfulness, and we can make that a time of just praising the Lord for all that He has blessed us and how abundantly He has blessed us. For Cross My Heart Ministry, I'm Laura McFarland. Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to download your copy of the Do It list. We'll add that link below. If today's video has blessed you, please give it a thumbs up. Leave us a comment, let us know. And if you think this would bless a friend, would you share the link with her as well and encourage her to subscribe? We are here to encourage women to love God and love His Word, and I hope that's where you're camping out this week, in the Word of God. Have a blessed week, my friends, and stay healthy, and this week stay organized. Have a good one.